So we have here the steel will Tenet in D2 steel, inexpensive, under $50 pocket knife, like we know many of the budget-friendly options that steel will offers. But what you guys are about to see in this video is that there is absolutely nothing wrong with the Tenet. This is a very good, budget-friendly, high-quality steel for the price point EDC knife. But I believe that this knife represents a missed opportunity by steel will. This could have been more than what it is. Not that there's anything wrong with what it is, but there is so much potential in this design that I think was just overlooked and missed that I want to hit on today. And maybe, and I hope maybe because of this video, we will see a Tenet 2.0 with some of the aspects that I see were overlooked with this design. So let's go ahead, hop over to the tabletop, break down this knife, run in a lot of the steel will brotherhood and all the brothers and sisters of the steel will line and discuss what is good about this and what I believe was a missed opportunity. So let's go ahead and get to it. So here we are, and again, don't get me wrong, this has a lot going for it, and we're going to talk about all that today, but there's just an opportunity here that I just want to point out that was missed in my opinion. So let's hit all the things I like about the knife. First off, blade steel of D2 and all the stuff we're about to look at here today, to price point value of about $45, $46. Amazon, Blade HQ, links below. When you guys use those hyperlinks, helps me get out there, make videos just like what you're seeing here today. So I always appreciate your guys' support in that way. When you guys hit those hyperlinks, we get that small kickback and continue to do what we do. Steel Will was able to send this over to me so I can give you guys this video and give them this feedback as well. You're seeing this, they're seeing this. You're going to be able to decide if this is a tool that you want. And I'm going to be able to point out some things that I think would be awesome to see in the future and that this tool could have in the future. So that's that. That's a huge plus for me. Under 50 bucks, D2 steel, G10 handle scales. The blade itself, great performance, really had zero complaints, very high saber grind, almost an FFG. You're looking at about 3¼ inches overall. You got that black coating on there that's wearing rather well after all the use that we put it through. Great belly, totally dig that. That D2 steel is going to hold a great edge, much better than your AUS 8s, your HCR 13 MOVs, and I would say is even better than most of the Sandviks. Even Sandvik 14C 28N is close, but it's not as. I would say it's on par with VG10, sometimes even better depending on who's heat treating it. So D2 is a great steel, great steel. Back here, we're looking at 0.13, so pretty stout on the spine itself, tapering down to really good precision, really precise tip there. It does not have a full 90-degree spine. I know many of you have been asking me to discuss that. So, I mean, basically it's a stout EDC knife. Blade is perfectly set up for those tasks. All right, then we're looking at here on the handle. We're looking at 4½ inches overall length, so you're going to get plenty of real estate there. Maximum thickness on the handle of 0.54, so just a hair under or over ½ an inch. So you're going to get some beefiness there. Coming in at 4.2 ounces, they have machined one side of the liners, as you can see in there. And even, no, they've done both sides on those liners. And then that G10. So, very doable, 4 ounces for kind of a larger knife. 4.2, totally dig that. Nice lanyard hole right there. Good back spacer with some good flow through. That green G10 really machined well. Zero hot spots. I wear large size gloves, as you guys know. Really fills out my hand well. I feel like I have a lot of control over the knife. Very mild jimping, perfect amount of jimping right there. Not too aggressive. And then that cut in right here with that finger flipper working in unison really locks me into place so I can bear down on the knife. Gives me great traction on the back end as well for however you would want to use it. And again, even though it looks clunky and square, it's not. It feels very ergonomic. Zero complaints in that capacity. Steel Will does a lot of flippers, and that's how we're going to have the deployment here on the knife. Got a good, generous flipper, a little bit of jimping, not sharp, goofy, or anything like that. Awesome, massive bronze bushings in there. Totally love to see that. So you just hit that thing, don't even have to flip the wrist. Boom, it's going to flip open. The centering is perfect. Zero complaints on the centering. Actually, it's maybe just, now I'm looking at it, I was looking at it earlier, maybe it's just like I mean, micro. If it's off, it's micro. And for, you know, Asian produce, under 50 bucks for everything I'm getting. And I've played with it a lot and have not had any sort of floating. So if it's off, it's just like not even a millimeter, micron meter or whatever. So that is about all the good stuff. Now some things that I want to hit on that I would love to see different. And in order to discuss that, we got to bring in some of the brethren. We got to bring in the steel wheel gecko. This is the mini gecko, epic G10 handle, M390 version. Oh my gosh, smoked blade, epic, super awesome, strong lockback. I mean, this is a freaking, I mean, this thing should be like several $100s. The, what is it, N690 version will come in, I think, around 150, and then this M390 version will come in, I think, around 200. Totally worth every penny though. And we're gonna refer to this in just a second. That's a lockback. Then we have the cut jack. It's a little, or not little, but similar brother there. And then we have the Modus. Both of these guys coming in with the D2 versions that we're looking at here at about $42. So within about $5 of each other on this side right here. And for talking points, we're going to bring in the Real Steel H5 Gerfalcon. That's that 14C 28N, Chinese made, just like this guy. A frame lock knife, finger flipper, just like what we got here. Bronze bushings of some kind. But this again, G10 one side, frame lock on the other, and that's what I want to get to. So the Tenet is offered to us kind of as this overbuilt, you know, like tank, tactical, heavy duty, hard working folder. And I see that in its lines, you know, the blacked out blade, the thicker, heavier G10, all of that. But I'm not seeing that in what they decided to lock this with. Just a standard, pretty thin, in my mind, liner lock. I would have liked to have something more along these two lines over here, because this is the deal. For $5 less, I can get a cut jack or a Modus with the exact same thickness on the liner lock, brass bushings. It's going to be thinner, arguably going to be a little just more contouring. Not that this is bad by any means, it doesn't feel blocky or clunky, but these are just going to be slimmer in the pocket, lighter in the pocket by about ½ an ounce, and just going to give me more options for less money. And if this Tenet had come in with either a frame lock like this Gerfalcon, I mean, can you just imagine that? That's super thick. I mean, if it had had this just gnarly, massive frame lock on there, how awesome that would be. And then it would make more sense with how they're trying to pitch it to you as this like hard, yeah, you know, if you want that tactical outdoor hard use folder, get the Tenet. That's kind of how it's being pitched, but I don't see it with the lockup. The lockup is totally fine for EDC use and your everyday carry type of task, but I would have liked to have a little more strength and just a different option as well. Almost all of their, you know, cheaper end knives that are under that like $50 price point are all just liner locks. I would like to see either a frame lock, and this guy comes in about $47, about the same price as this guy, you know, and they could have easily done that, maybe even charge $50, $55 and throw a frame lock on there because we're getting the D2 steel versus the Sandvik. That would have been awesome. Or a lockback option like its brother, the Gecko. I mean, imagine, it doesn't even have to be as like nice and rounded machine, but just a lockback mechanism back here. I mean, then, dude, you'd be giving like half the cold steel knives out there a run for their money if this had a really good, solid lockback design like its brother over here, and would make it stand out from its brothers over here. Now it just kind of looks different and has a different handle material. That's about it. I'm getting the exact same locking mechanism. I'm getting about the same amount of strength. It's just going to have a slightly different profile. So that's really my major beef. The other smaller thing is that I love the blacked out loop over pocket clip. Totally dig that. The screws have been recessed in, all of that. No lefty option. I don't understand that. The cut jack and the Modus and the Gecko all have that option. And they just decided not to go that route, probably cut a few pennies. There's no reason for that. It has a frame, or it has a liner over here that could easily tapped. So that's just a kind of a little oversight in my opinion. I love the pocket clip. I hope I'll see more of that in their line. But that's just something that I noticed, that the Modus and the cut jack. So if you're a lefty, you're obviously going to want to go with one of those two over the Tenet. So there's just some food for thought for you when you're picking out your next steel wheel knife. Which one is the best for you? What do you need? And some food for thought, hopefully, for steel wheel themselves. Would love to see like the Tenet Mark II with either a lockback or a frame lock in the future. Even, you know, bump up the price if you need to, you know, $10 or so, and it would still be worthwhile and still be something that would just set it apart from its siblings over here. So again, I want to reiterate that there's nothing wrong with this design whatsoever. And for a lot of you, you may totally connect with it. I just think that giving us dual, options for a pocket clip and going with a very solid lockback design would have taken this just to a whole new level and not just been kind of another, run-of-the-mill Modus cut jack type of knife. This would have been something distinct, something unique, something that would be more on the tougher, harder use end than what it is, and really going from the concept of, like we talked about, throwing a 4-cylinder in a Mustang or something like that, or putting a V6 in a pickup truck, like a Ford F-150. It just doesn't make sense, and there's so much more potential that could be used with this design. So I hope that maybe Steel will do that in the future and throw a lock back on this and give us another pocket clip option just to swap, and man, there'd be a whole new level of awesome that the Tenet would have to offer. So I want to thank you guys for coming over here today, watching this video. I hope it's to help you decide whether or not this is the right knife, or the Modus, or the cut jack, or better options for you. As always, check us out on all the relevant social media as well. It's a great way to see what's up and coming. Please, as always, also subscribe if you're not a current subscriber. If you're a current subscriber, I want to thank you for your regular support here at the channel. If you're not, I'd ask you to consider making Gideon's Tactical part of your regular YouTube experience. We're throwing up videos every single week, helping you guys make the best choice and best decision when you guys are throwing down your hard-earned money. And finally, guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. See you out there.